This is Carolyn with Carolyn's Paper Therapy. And today I wanted to share with you a new project I've started with the Little Village collection from Shabby Art Boutique, which is a part of their the craft shop, which is a members only page. But some of the ideas that I've used here, you can use with any kits, and particularly with hers from Shabby Art Boutique. One of the things that I learned by doing this was I wanted to be able to resize some images to fit on my little banners so that I could make a kind of a garland of the banners. And the size of these banners, I got these on Amazon, and they're very thin wood. They're 3.5 by 5.5. And I've done a project on these before, and I like them because they're so lightweight that they'll be easy to string and hang on the wall as a group. So anyway, I had these images that were full-size sheets. This image here was the whole size of this sheet, and it was one of her Elements files. So I was trying to figure out how I could print 4 on a page, and I had never done that before, and I couldn't get my computer to do what I wanted it to do. So I normally use my iPad for everything. So what I did was I downloaded Adobe, and I opened each file into Adobe, which is her Elements file, and they come in a large picture on a sheet that can be resized. And so I loaded this into Adobe. I converted it to a PDF, which Adobe does for you. And then after I got all the different images, these particular ones are different shops. And there were houses, a church, a school, and several shops. And I wanted to do one string of these that were all shops, and one that was the houses, the school, and the church. So what I'll be sharing on this video will be the shops. And so anyway, after you convert the different files to a PDF, then you open up one of them and you select Combine, and then you select 3 other images that you want to combine on one page in order to have 4 on a page. And then when you go to print it, you tell it to print 4 to a page, and this is what you end up with. So there'll be 4 different images on one page. I hope I've explained that well enough. I pretty much taught myself, so it can't be that hard to figure it out. I just kind of searched on Google and figured it out from there. But this, you could do these 6 to a page, or whatever size that you want, or just even print just one of them on a page, and it would just print one up here in the corner. And so I've resized all these down to 4 to a page so that they would fit like this on my little banner, and cut them out. So I'm going to finish up. I have 6 of them almost finished. I'm going to finish those up so I can show you later in the video. And then I'm going to assemble the Village Florist, kind of like a tutorial for you on this same video. So I'll be back soon, and hope you're having a great day. Always find the joy in every day. My joy in this day will be creating this beautiful video for you. So I'll see you soon. Okay, I'm back, and I think I'm ready to show you how I put together one of the banners on my little village garland. We're going to do the Village Florist. Make sure there we go. And what I did was I decided to use all the blue background, so I printed out the blue background pages, and there's 3 different patterns, so I just kind of alternated those on the backgrounds. So each one of our stores has a blue background behind it. And this will get mounted right onto this banner. So I glued it on with the Barely Art glue. And just place it on there so that you're sure that it's straight, lined up with the corner, the top, and the side. And then mash it down good. Put this in under it for the moment. And then you want to trim off the edges. And to trim this into the point here, I used my X-Acto knife. This is one of those self-healing mats, so you can cut right on it and it heals itself up. The one I work on normally is a large pink one, and it has the measurements on it like this too, so it really helps in lining things up straight and in cutting like this. Okay, so there's our banner, and then it has these holes in it, and so what I did was use just a pokey tool to poke through there from the back, and then I went back in the front where I could see where the hole was and made the larger hole. This is where we'll thread through our ribbon or jute to string these all together. Okay. Now, there were certain things that I did on each one that I kept it uniform, and that was to use the same lace across the top of each one. I have a couple more supplies I need to get, just a minute. Okay. And I just line this up across the top and snip it off. And then when I glued it down, I wanted to try to make sure, I wanted a little bit of the ruffle to pick up above the top, but I also wanted to be able to see these holes so that I could get my ribbon through there. So we'll just put a little glue down. And I'm missing totally for some reason. There we go. And I'll put this down so that it's down far enough that I can see those holes, but still has a little ruffle across the top. And then I decided on this one to use my little roses again. And again, I will pull those down so that I can still see my little holes. And this I'll glue down with Fabri-Tac. Sometimes when I'm gluing fabric on fabric, and I have just gotten this. The other glue works, but this works quicker and better than the regular water-based glue. So this is Fabri-Tac. And I'll put my rose garland on there, making sure I can still see those holes. And there's still a little ruffle showing below. Another thing I did was to use lace across the bottom. I thought about running lace up and down to keep the banner shape, but I didn't really like that. So what I've done is I just cut a piece of lace to go across there and come up a little ways. And I'll glue that down, and then I'll trim off the edges. Now some of these had kind of a ruffled edge across the bottom, and since I ran out of that, lace. So what I did was I came back with this little piece that I had and added it onto the bottom so that there would be a little decorative bottom on here. And again, I'll use the Fabri-Tac on this. I don't know if you remember a video I made before using one of the other kits. I made a heart garland. This is a similar idea, only it was done with cardstock, and this I used the wood as background. And these little banners I got off of Amazon. I think I got 24 of them, and they come with the jute to string it. These could be done individually and hung individually or in a row. I just decided to make a garland because I'm gonna hang it over on my lace runner that's on my fireplace, and hopefully if I get it up there I'll show you a picture. Now I'm going to turn this over and just trim off any excess. And when I do this, sometimes I get glue on my scissors, which I'll have to clean that off somehow later. So here's the basic design that I used on all of these. I did different trims at the top, different lace at the bottom, but basically the layout was the same. I just put a little bit of ink on the edges here. I could have painted these white. I just chose not to. The edge is dark and that doesn't matter to me. And so I just put a little ink there to blend in with that darker. on the edges. Now, the next thing I want to do is to place my house and my shop and figure out where I want it. So I have some of them, I have, depending on how they're designed, taken them to the left or the right or in the middle. But I'm going to put this over a little bit to the right because I have some stickers that I'm going to put on here, and I think that I'm going to put them on first. Since this is a flower shop and the flowers were all yellow, I chose some yellow flowers that I'll be putting on here. And so I'm going to do that next and get these stickers put on here. Again, these are those stickers that a lot of people have trouble getting them apart. But the key is to use a sharp element and pick the front off the back. Don't try to take the back off the front like most other kinds of stickers. So I think that's where the frustration lies with these stickers. And then I have some tulips I'm going to put on there too. Okay, now I'm ready to put my little house down. And I'll just glue it down in place. It's already been fussy cut out and inked around the edges. If you like the more cottage look, you might want to leave the edges white and rough them up a little bit, or however you want to do that. But I like to put just a little bit of ink. To me, it defines the picture more. So this is going to go right in here. And I don't mind that these trees hang over the edge just a little bit. Now there's our village florist. Okay, now down in here on the left-hand side, I want to use, I've used on several of these, the green cheesecloth that I've said before, I get that from a table runner from kind of the wedding department. And I think that I will glue that there, and then let's see, I was going to do some flowers. Just hang on a minute. Let me get this down. Now, one thing I've been doing with leftover papers is using die cuts and hole punches and things to use up the background paper. And I have 3 hole punches that are 3 different sizes of flowers, and I have already punched the 3 sizes of flowers and in other papers that I had that were in this same of the same designer. And so what I'm going to do is just place these right here. So first I need a little dab of glue, and I might even want to turn up the edges just a little. I just use my fingernail to kind of turn up the edges, and put that in place. And I like to alternate the petals from one color to the next so that they show up a little bit more. So this is green, this is the middle size. Put just a little dab of glue and stick that in there. This tool here has some kind of sticky stuff on the end, and this is called a quick stick precision pickup and placement tool, and this end you can use to move things around if you need to. And then I'm going to do another pink for the very center. Okay, I think I'll do another size. Use the medium size. And just do another flower on here. And then I have the small pink that I'll put right in the middle. I kind of came down on the lace here, so I need to put some glue behind my cheesecloth. Just hang on a minute, I get that fixed. Okay, now the last thing I did was select a ribbon to go on. Each one of these I have a bow on, and I think I was going to use the pink ribbon. I just tie a little bow and trim it off. And I think I'll put this one right up here. Again, I used the Fabri-Tac because that satiny ribbon wasn't wanting to stick very well to this lace. So I'll put this ribbon right up here at the top. Okay, now last but not least, I used my stickles again, which I love to use because it adds sparkle to our pieces. We could use something like sequins or something like that, but I want to use the stickles. I've done it on each of the other ones, which I'll show you. And what I've done with the stickles is just come in with a little dot of sparkly in the middle of each flower. And I'm using the clear stickles because, well, I like it the best. I got to get it to come out first, don't I? I like it the best because it picks up the color of the ink, so that if it's a yellow flower, the shiny looks yellow, and if it's brown or pink, it looks those colors. I'm going to put one in the middle of each sunflower. This is just a tiny little detail, but every little thing like this that you add to your work just makes it extra special. I think I'll let the doorknob have a little shine on it. These flowers down here, they may be roses. I think they're peonies, maybe. Here's some roses over here, pink and red. And then we want to put something in the middle of each of our paper flowers down here in the corner. Now the key to stickles is not to get your finger in it till it dries, so we won't touch that again. What I'm going to do now is show you the rest of the stores, little village stores. And then after everything dries and I have it all laid out, I will put it all together with some sort of string, hang it up, and take a picture of it hanging over my mantle. But this is the Village Florist. Let's stand up so I can see what I'm doing. This is the Village Florist. And next we have the General Store. On this one I used some pearls, some zigzag. I cut out some of the flowers. If you can see the stickles down all these flowers that are growing up the side of the building and over here. I tried to alternate my pink ribbon and my white ribbon when I was planning this out. This is the cottage quilts. There's stickles in the middle of all the flowers. I used that same trim that I used on the florist that we just did. This is just a square of fabric since it's a quilt store. This was a crocheted button and I put a little bling in the middle. This is our bakery. I used some trim that has kind of a little, it's white with a little rope side on it, pink rope. And then I trimmed it with our pearls. Stickles on the flowers. These are die cut stems. I have some stems and leaves and flowers. And I have a whole bunch of those that I've cut out in different colors. And occasionally I'll put them on here. At the bottom here I've put our cheesecloth and some ribbon and our little roses trim. Here is our antique store. I used some fringe, pink fringe at the top on this one. Again, I've duplicated my lace on each one. I used the pearl trim again. I used the cheesecloth and some of that same lace, cut out a flower and our pink ribbon. This is our bookstore. One of the smaller pieces in the kit had a little stack of books with the bookstore sitting on top of it, and I cut that off and just have a little stack of books down here in the front along with our die cut flowers and stems and stickles. And then this is the last one. This is Teacup Tea Room. I used some of my die cut flowers. That same little rope pink trim with the pearls, pink ribbon, and I cut out a teacup out of some of our ephemera with the kit. So these are all ready to go. Wish I could get them all on here for you to see. Let's see if I can. well, you can almost see them all. That's my little village shops. And so this will be my little village shops garland. And then I will come back and do the houses in the same kind of format, the 4 houses, the school, and the church on a separate garland. So I hope you've enjoyed this today. I had planned to work on another journal, and this caught my eye, and I wanted to do it while I had the idea in my mind. And so I'll get back to my other journal, which I've entitled Outside My Window, and I'm excited to do it too. So I'll get busy on it next. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.